Good morning, 10th. I have explained to you till transmission of nerve impulse. Now we have to begin from synapse. See, synapse is the point of contact between terminal branches of axon of a neuron with the dendrites of another neuron separated by a fine gap. At the synapse, the nerve impulse jumps into next neuron. This is a chemical process. It's not continuous because there is a gap. So as the impulse reaches the terminal end of an axon, a chemical, that is acetylcholine, this is a neurotransmitter, okay, and acetylcholine is released. This chemical sets a new impulse in the dendrite of adjacent neuron, and the chemical is soon broken down by an enzyme to make the synapse ready for next transmission. So this is neurotransmitter. Its name you should learn with correct spelling. Next comes types of neuron. There are three types of neurons. One is sensory, second is motor, third is association or connecting neuron. Sensory neurons convey the impulse from receptor, that is sense organ, to the main nervous system, that is brain or spinal cord, while motor neuron carry impulse from main nervous system, that is brain or spinal cord, to an effector, that may be muscle or a gland. So two major types of neuron. Then in between we have association or connecting neuron, which is located in brain and spinal cord. Their location is only in brain and spinal cord, which interconnect sensory and motor, means which will transmit the information from sensory to motor or motor to sensory. So these are association neuron. They have shown this diagram, very important. Three types of neurons: sensory, motor and association. Synapse between them and the direction of transmission of nerve impulse. So that you can see, first is sensory neuron. Sensory neuron, it is receptors are the organs present or the ends present in the skin. So these are the dendrites from receptors and they will take the nerve impulse. This is cell body. Then it is having axon another side, and here it is attaching itself to the dendrites of these are axon endings which are taking the impulse to association neuron, and association neuron is transmitting it to this is cell body, this is cell body of next, this is axon of association neuron, and will be transmitted to motor neuron cell body, dendrites here, axon attaching to dendrites with a fine gap synapse here, then motor neuron, and arrows you can see direction of conduction of nerve impulse. So myelin sheath is visible, axon, and to muscle or gland for reaction, okay, or response we can say. This is taking that is stimulus is perceived by the receptors present in the skin or sense organs, and then nerve impulse travels. Then come to nerves. Nerve is a bundle of nerve fibers, that is axons of separate neurons, which are enclosed in a tubular sheath. So axons bundled together, okay. Nerves are the thread-like white structure which emerge from brain and spinal cord and branch out to almost all parts of the body. And nerve may be compared to an underground electric cable containing numerous conducting wires, each insulated from another. They have shown here. Nerve formed by a bundle of axons, each insulated from one another, means there is nothing dissipated in between them, amongst them. Myelin sheath of the axon acts like insulation and prevents mixing of the impulse in the adjacent axon. They are taking their own information and forwarding to the next. Then three kinds of nerves are as follows. Nerves also three kinds. These are the kinds of neuron. Now we are doing three kinds of nerves. They are sensory nerve, motor nerve. Sensory nerve, which contain only sensory fibers bringing impulses from the receptors, that is sense organs, to the brain or spinal cord. Example is optic nerve, which is arising from eye. When we will do eye structure, there you will see the labeling, and endings in the brain. Then motor nerves contain only motor fibers which carry impulse from brain or spinal cord to effector organ, that is muscle or glands, to bring them into action. So these are taking the message from brain or spinal cord to effector organ. And last one, example of motor nerve, that is a nerve rising from brain and supplying to the muscles of eyeball. for rotating the eye. Then mixed nerves are those that contain both sensory and motor fiber. A spinal nerve, that is a mixed nerve. Then comes ganglia. For definition, it is important. Ganglia are aggregates of nerve cells, that is cell bodies, from which nerve fibers may arise or enter into. So this you should do. Then come to progress check, that you have to solve. Structural and functional unit of nervous system is nephron, wave of electrical disturbance that sweeps over the nerve cell. Impulse, long thread like part of nerve cell is axon. Point of contact between two nerve cells, that will be synapse. Bundle of axons enclosed in a tuberous sheath, that is nerve. Kind of nerve carrying impulse from brain to a gland or muscle, that is motor nerve. And categorize the following: withdrawal of hand, that will do when we will do stimulus. See, two major divisions of nervous system are there. One is central nervous system, which contain brain and spinal cord. Spinal cord is present within the vertebral column. Then peripheral nervous system, which includes the nerves that emerge from and enter into brain and spinal cord, both the kinds, entering as well as emerging one. Then peripheral nervous system consists of two subdivisions. So see, this seems to be complicated to us, but please make a flow chart. Better you make a flow chart for learning this. PNS consists of two subdivisions. Somatic nervous system, that is SNS, conveys information to skeletal muscles, and autonomic nervous system, that includes a pair of chains of ganglia and nerves which control the involuntary actions of many internal organs, that is smooth muscles, heart muscles and glands. So this is autonomic nervous system. Then come to brain. This is a part of central nervous system, and as compared to the size of the body, human brain is largest among all animals. It is very delicate organ, well protected inside brain box or cranium of the skull. I will explain you next in the next video. Thank you.